So about Black Clover, it's been a while since Black Clover has finished. Well, not finished, but the anime was put on a pause, which is a good thing because if it didn't, they'll have to make filler for it. And seeing as how they are still showing no signs of bringing it back, that would have ended up being a shit ton of filler for the anime. It already has some filler, I'm pretty sure. Not a massive amount, but a few 2 or 3 episode fillers here and there. Nothing major, but it still has some. But Black Clover has really solidified itself as one of the main modern shonen. At first, it was completely hated. No one liked it, and everyone found every little thing to hate about the show. I watched Black Clover since it first came out, and I'm not gonna say it's great or anything. It wasn't some groundbreaking shit or anything like that, but people were blowing it way out of proportion. I mean, the part about the animation is true, but I'm not really that judgmental with animation, so I didn't really pay any attention to it. If the animation is really bad, I'll start to notice it, but it didn't really get to that point for me. Maybe for a few scenes, but overall it was pretty decent. So people do have some fair complaints about the show, but I don't think it was all that bad. People can say the animation was bad and all, but at least they invested into other stuff. It was overkill looking back at it now, but Black Clover has a lot of good openings. Right now there are like 13 openings. They were just constantly making new ones. A lot of them didn't have a need to be changed. They just really like to have new openings, I guess. I mean, at least they weren't bad ones. Black Clover honestly has the longest good opening streak I've seen. Well, except for Bleach. But besides that, I have never seen an anime come out with that many openings with all of them being good. So I wasn't really complaining about it. But if they invested some of that into stuff like animation sooner, that would have been pretty nice. The animation actually got pretty good for the second half of the series. Well, more like 1/3 kind of. Around the elf arc when they got reincarnated and stuff. That was when the animation really got good from what I remember. There was a point in the series where the anime took a break. I don't think it was like how the anime is just waiting for the manga to get ahead. I'm pretty sure they just had to stop because they weren't getting renewed to keep going or something like that. It was around the witch arc, I think. At the end of it, they just stopped making episodes. And then for like a few months, there was no anime at all for Black Clover. It wasn't clear that the anime was going to continue either. So people thought it was just going to end there because of how much hate it got for a large part of the series. I just sort of drifted away from it after that. I realized that they were stopping the anime and just went off to watch something else. At some point the anime did come back, but I either didn't realize or just didn't care because I didn't really get back on Black Clover for a while. Probably 20 to 30 episodes after the end of the witch arc, so literally about half a year. I'm not gonna lie, I think I was just bored or uninterested in the series. I don't know if it was a break or I was just more interested in something else at the time, but it took me a while to catch up. I didn't want to drop it either though. I don't really like to drop animes in general, but I really didn't want to drop Black Clover after watching it for so long. I wanted to see it all the way through. I didn't get back into it until like the squad fight. The arc final had the whole beef with his brother. That was a really good arc. And then obviously the elf arc was also good. Probably the best arc out right now. The devil arc is probably better, but it's not completed so I don't want to count it. And then after that point, Black Clover managed to flip his reputation back around. A lot more people were getting into the show. Since the fight started to trend on social media, it got a lot more respect and praise from the community. I mean, there were still people doubting the show, but it was a lot smaller than how it first was. But then it kind of went downhill with the time skip. I don't know if it was just me, but what the fuck were they thinking when they redid Asta's design? I can't say what exactly they could have done. Maybe a scar or just redoing his outfit design, but making Asta buffer than he already is definitely not the move. He was already extremely buff before, but now he's uncomfortably bulky. It doesn't help that his character is short either. It just looks weird if I'm being honest. They kind of cucked us too slightly. In the first episode after the time skip, the animation was really good. The animations were fluid throughout the whole episode. I was pretty hyped because I was thinking they were going to change their animating practices and instead try to make at least most of the anime have some quality animation. But the very next episode there was a very distinct difference. It might have been because there was just a really good animated episode before it, but the next episode looked really bad. I wasn't really paying no attention to the animation before, but the animation really stuck out to me and made it less enjoyable since I thought they would use this arc as their redemption to turn their reputation around, but they went back to the old animation for the most of it. The animation was still good for important fights. Those still look pretty good, but besides those, the animation went back to being pretty metacore. If you had a graph of Black Clover, you would just see it going up and down and up again. I don't love or hate the show. Black Clover is just Black Clover for me. It has its moments, but sometimes it also doesn't. That is pretty much all I had to say though. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe for future content. Peace.